morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Sunday, June 5th, 2022. Hoping everyone's had a great weekend so far, as it's the last day of the week for the ECSI VIPs. Had a great start on Friday. Yesterday, 1-2 on the menu. We get the Phillies first five with Zach Wheeler, minus the hook running through. Astros minus a half first five comes up short. 5 base hits, 8 left on base, 0-0 after 5. I hate rain delays. And my meteorologist had it getting through the first 5, maybe the 6th inning before a delay. And there was actually an hour delay before that. And that gets us there. And then our final game of the night, over 11.5, Braves and Rockies. And they decided to start scoring in extras or right before extras. And Braves did their part. They got 6, but Rockies only got 2. So we come up short. We lose a unit, 0.25. Still about plus 1.4 for the weekend, as we head into Quicksand Sunday. I repeat, Quicksand Sunday. A lot of landmines out there, guys. So if you're waking up today with a big melon, you've had a rough weekend or week, and you think you're going to destroy the books, you're going to make $1 million, well, good luck to you. Great board today, full MLB slate. Do or die for the Lightning. Tonight, Celtics Warriors game 2. Celtics up 1 there. I think I'm seeing Golden State go around 4.5. We'll get into that. Last night, the Avs put a chokehold on the Oilers with a 4-2 win, and they are now up 3-0 in just a matter of time when they will be awaiting either the Lightning or the Rangers to play for the Stanley Cup. I think that 2-0 lead to Vegas last year, and then they lost 4 in a row, was a big wake-up call. And if you're a Red Sox fan and you woke up this morning, you're only a half game out of the third wild card for the Angels. So as a fan, I think you're smiling ear to ear. You know, just get in. Anything can happen. Last year, we beat the Yankees in the play-in game, beat the Rays, and then we faced the Astros and got to Game 6. So we're basically 2 games away from the World Series. But sometimes it's not that good. As a Red Sox fan, we got 3 guys that are potentially going to walk: Bogarts, JD, and Evaldi. So if you are kind of half inning, half out, and become buyers or just sit tight and play out the second half of the year and don't add and then don't make the playoffs, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. But with all that said, let's bring in our co-host from the Windy City himself, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Morning, Riley.
Morning, my friend. Happy Sunday, Quicksand Sunday, as you mentioned. Good Saturday of sports action. A fun day for us across all the boards. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful day here in the Windy City. Got a little action. I think it's a Sunday night baseball game here on the north side of the Windy City. So I'm sure we'll talk about that for a second. Obviously got a lot of golf to talk about. You mentioned it on Friday last time we talked. We've had a lot of success here on Sundays talking about some value here for the board on Sundays. So we got that coming up. Obviously the finals, which I'm very, very excited for tonight. And I think it's game 3 of Rangers in Tampa Bay, right, that we got to talk about here. So I'm ready to dive in wherever you want to, my friend.
Well, seeing that it's 11:07 back east and 10:07 with you, let's start with the PGA.
Sure.
Thursday, we hit the first round leader with Cam Young, plus 4,000. There was 4 others that were tied as well. Friday, we were sitting right there. We have a couple right up top. A lot of the big names not there. So you kind of wondered what would happen Saturday and moving day. And of course, I am as superstitious as they come. One of our colleagues posted, hey, I wouldn't mind Joaquin Neiman plus 4,500, and I give him the high five. I said, wow, I like that. As he came within 1 stroke and then bogey, double bogey, thanks for playing. We bring this up every Sunday. Keith Lee, Justin Thomas, Sam Burns last week. Out of nowhere, Billy Ho with a 5-shot lead. Now, the average and novice person, it's over. Run to the window. I have no Billy Ho exposure. Let me get him because there's no way he's going to lose. That's all it takes is a duck hook on one and a water shot on two, and he's tied. So the thought process is remove Billy Ho. Take him out. If he doesn't fall back to the pack, congratulations. He wins. Now you got the second tier. And we always talk about take your eyes further down to the next tier. What are you saying?
And I think just looking at it to give you some optimism for this one, because I don't know, maybe one of these situations I feel like 3-shot lead over the guys you just mentioned over the last few weeks. I think 3-shot might have been the steepest, first to second gap. So we're a little bit bigger here, but just looking down the board to give you some optimism, you're seeing a nice mix of guys that have already shot that are kind of out of contention. Now we're starting to trickle into guys that are, still at, live to make a nice run here. You're seeing a nice split of guys that are still struggling, meaning this course is still looking tough and can bring a guy like Billy Horschel down. And you're seeing a handful of guys that are already starting to shoot low. So I think the value is there again as far as one of these guys chasing these guys down. I was hoping, it looks like we missed it. I don't know if they'll put it back up. I found some value today in betting without Billy Horschel still. Guys that were 5-shot back were of second place were 100-1 to finish, in second place without Billy Horschel there. Now it's looking like, there's a couple of spots that I saw took that market down. I don't know if that'll be back up or not, but nonetheless, I mean, there's guys that are shooting 4 or 5 over already today. Guys that weren't really in contention, but not necessarily shooting that badly by any means. So the potential is there. I think you still, like you said, you still have to take your eyes down a little bit. You mentioned Joaquin Neiman, earlier in the tournament. He's again 44-1. I think that's he's the 6th best odds. That's 45-1. And so even you go down a little bit behind that, guys can really, really make up some ground today. And obviously you got to hope for Billy to drop a handful of shots probably. But the value is there. Do you have a number that's sticking in your head that would be an ideal, spot to get to for one of these guys? Maybe 9, 10?
I'm going to pull it up right now. We take Billy out of the mix at 13, and then we get the 8s and 7 chase, and Billy comes back to the pack. We go to the third tier, which is 6, 65-7. I think a post of a 10 is the number. A post 10, of a 10. So going down the board, as crazy as it sounds, we had Naismith at like plus 200 before the tournament started, 150 or something crazy. But your Cameron Youngs, your Will Zalatoris's, and as crazy as this sounds, Rory McIlroy. These guys can aim at sticks. They can post the score. Again, this is all with Billy Ho coming back to the pack. We had a pre-flop on Im. Im got to 4 under, and he then pooped himself, got back to 2. He's already 2 under today. Again, to get to 9 or 10 would be a big feat. Here's a name. Would take a big day, no pun intended, Jason Day. How's the back feeling on Sunday there? Jordan Spieth -3.
Max Homa's another guy, but I don't know if he's not. I don't know if he's got that many, that low of a score in him or not. I would like him if it was maybe 4 or 5 stroke as opposed to the deficit you're seeing, but that's another name that's right in that pack for sure. And
the last one I'll throw out there, Shane Lowry -3.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him. That was the other one. And like I said, there's, guys that were coming in and still that pack of guys that are 3 under. I caught 4 guys at least 100-1 odds betting without Billy Horschel. So that's a 5-shot difference. Obviously, they've got a ton of ground to make up. But when you're looking at Cam Smith, who's 5 shots back, and he's 3-1 or 2-1, whatever it is, and you got this difference. So if that market pops up again, I assume they took it down. I don't know if they took it down for the day or if they just took it down because a lot of these guys that are in that 1 under, 2 under spots are kind of trickling into what would be that market. I don't know if they'll pop that back up open or not, but if you see it open, I think there's some value there as well.
Yeah, and we talk about this every Sunday. We actually talk about like on Wednesday before we're leading up to the first round, and the mindset is there's no way in hell. There's just absolutely no way in hell. And what we try to tell you here, and you try to explain as well, is you got to take the leader off, and especially he's got a 5-shot lead. But that's all it takes is a bogey, a double, and he comes back to the pack. One of these guys that we're talking about, -3, -4, is going to have to shoot a -6, -7, and he's going to post it. Okay. Right. A la Justin Thomas, a la Sam Burns. Okay. Right. So now the leader, Billy Ho, and the guys in that second tier who are already -8, -7 are already seeing the posted score. They tend to get a little tight in that back nine, and anything can happen. And we're not telling you to go out there, full units or whatever. We're talking quarters, halves, pizza and beer money. Pizza and beer, I like to say, sprinkle the fairway.
Yeah, sprinkle it. I think this is a perfect definition for sprinkling. And Billy Ho, I like Billy Ho. He could absolutely have a nice round today, but he's not invincible by any means. How many times have we seen this guy on a random round shoot 6-7 over, for God's sake? I mean, it's absolutely possible. The last guy I'll mention, and I think it's probably a little too late, but Schauffele's already 300 for the day, 300 total through 7. Probably a little too late, a little too little, too late, but he's at least making some waves. So that's one final name that's obviously top 10 golfer in the world to mention there.
Let's go right into we'll go for it. We'll go game 2, Celtics and Golden State. A game where the mentality is, well, there's no way in hell Golden State's going down 2-0. If that, the series is over. But what I stated leading up to game 1, the Celtics have played so much better on the road than they have at home. When they've had a chance to step on someone's neck, they haven't. So again, the mentality is Golden State all the way today, -4, -4.5. This is a quote unquote layup, and we'll go back to Boston 1-1 and see what happens. Thought process for yourself outside looking in Golden State and the Celtics today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that thought process. Golden State is who I think is going to win this game. Would it shock me if the Celtics found a way again in this one? It wouldn't shock me. But I do think the Warriors win this game. I'm staying away from the 4.5. I think it's going to be another really good game in this one. I would expect a little second half fatigue in this game. We obviously didn't see it in game 1. That's where I would expect, if Golden State's able to pull away, is seeing a little fatigue here for the Celtics in game 2 after the long series. And then obviously after game 1, despite a couple of days of rest, if we do see that, I think that's where we would see it. As far as, I haven't played too many totals. I'm interested as far as just this in-game betting. I'd be interested in the under 215.5. I think it was around 216. Interested in that one. A little bit of a overreaction. It only moved up 1.5, but I think the public, as far as seeing this one, is kind of overreacting to a really hot shooting night from the Celtics. I think, again, it wouldn't shock me if the Celtics won this one, but I think the winner of this game is going to be in that 105, 106 point range for this one. So that one should stay under. But obviously, both of these teams can pour it in. I mean, we could see a huge second half from the Warriors that would get this one over. So I'm not in love with it, but that's at least one spot that I'm leaning towards. I would say, if I'm playing the spread, I would say the Warriors, because obviously the team that wins, and I think the Warriors win, the team that wins in this postseason has the cover rate for winning teams has been really, really high. But it could be a really, really good game. So I'm staying away from that one for sure. Any contradicting thoughts or comparison thoughts from you on that one?
Well, when I talked to the ECSI VIPs on Thursday and Friday, and I'm going to throw this out to you and all the listeners here today, why play the 4.5? Why not take Golden State plus 155 or 160 to win the series right now? You're getting now plus money. They were plus 140, minus 140, minus 145 before opening tip-off. You can get Golden State plus 155, 160 to win the series. You don't have to worry about the 4.5. Golden State wins. And then I always like to say this before Wednesday, and game 3 in the Garden, you can then go back and grab the Celtics plus 135, 140, guarantee yourself 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, and just pick away and go in that route versus the 4.5, or the over tonight.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that's absolutely the way to do it. I mean, you could even do it. I think that's obviously the more profitable way to do it. But I mean, you could even do it with the MVP odds. If you think there's no way anyone other than Steph Curry's win it, there's no way anyone other than Jason Tatum's win it. You can kind of do the same thing with the MVP award. Not saying that's more valuable than what you're talking about, because I think that's absolutely the way to go. But Steph Curry's right around plus 145 to win the MVP for the Finals MVP. If the Warriors come back and win this thing, you have to imagine he's going to be the one to get that award. But I'm with you. I think taking the Warriors right now, because obviously we expected the Warriors to win Game 1. We were hoping to wait and catch the Celtics at a nice over 2-1 price. Obviously, that ship has sailed, but I think you can still, manipulate this to get yourself some plus money in the Warriors. And if you waited on the Celtics, you should have that opportunity again before Game 3 as well. So I think that should be there after tonight.
I know, and you are not the hockey guy. You always tell us that, but you obviously have a great opinion and stuff. It's do or die for the Lightning today, and the price is not at a pleasant one. As I'm going to pull that up. Let me see where that was. I saw 76, 80.
I see on FanDuel it's minus 182.
Okay.
So a little inflated, I think.
And all the Ranger fans are coming out like the disrespect card, the no quit Rangers, and all this. And what have they done? They held serve. They won the first 2 games at home. The series doesn't start till someone wins one on the road. Now, with that said, before that game, the VIPs, we gave out Tampa plus 105 to win the series. I'm trying to bring up my Circa app right now, unless you have it in front of you. Do you have
for the series odds still?
Yeah.
On FanDuel, 210 plus 210 for the Lightning right now.
Okay, so let's play the game.
Yeah.
The Lightning now are minus 180 tonight at 3 o'clock. All right. There's no way you can lay that number unless you're going to play some parlays today and you're going to use the Lightning. Money line parlays. If you wanted to get into this game, you would have to go puck line or regulation. Mm-hmm. So let's play the game again, guys. If you think this is going to be a home series, why don't you sprinkle Lightning plus 210 today? They win. They're going to go to where we have them at plus 105. You'd have the Rangers at a short favorite, but if the Lightning hold serve at home and win both games, you're going to go back to the original number of them minus 180, and the Rangers
might even be more inflated at that point after they won 2 games to them. It might even be more inflated.
So, are you sprinkling anything on the Lightning plus 2 and change today?
I think yes, and the only thing that I would add to it that I actually feel confident in, the Rangers have only won 2 road games in the playoffs, and it's Game 6 versus Pittsburgh, it's Game 7 versus Carolina. So late in these series, Game 3 and 4 or whatever, 1 and 2, wherever the 2 back-to-back games on the road, they haven't won any of those games. They obviously went down 3-1 to the Penguins. So. I'm not the hockey guy, but I expect the Lightnings not only to win tonight, but I think they get both of these games. Maybe Game 4 is the closer one. I think they get this one a little less sweaty tonight. But yeah, I'm interested in what you're putting down, the plus 210. I'm not sure. I haven't done any shopping to if there's a better number than that. That's just what's I'm staring in my face for reference right now. But definitely interested in that for the Lightning here today and going forward. I think that's the move.
All right, I'm just going to quickly pull up the Circa app for everyone, see what Derek and the boys are telling us here from Circa. We will go hockey series. Rangers minus 260, Lightning plus 220.
There you go.
So if you're in Las Vegas or you're in one of the states that Circa is available, you lucky little what, you know what?
They're coming soon to here. They're coming to me soon.
That's a home run. I love those guys. So you can get them plus 220. So why lay the 170 or 180 today? Sprinkle a little beer and pizza on them to win the series at plus 220. They hold serve, win Game 3. We'll talk about Game 4. If it gets back to 2-2, you could be sitting with a plus 220. and let's just say a Rangers plus 160, and you're guaranteeing yourself 2-1 and change, or plus 60 cents for every dollar.
Yeah, I think it's a home run, and like you said, the game, the odds after this one, if it's close to even money, then you might even have some goofy opportunity before Game 4 if the odds are anything crazy. But I think it's probably 2-2 that we expect anything to flip here.
All right, let's go to the MLB board, a full slate here. We'll bring up our friends at Wager Talk, wagertalk.com/free odds, and you can follow along with us. One-stop shopping from our friends at Wager Talk here. Full slate of bases. Take it away, my brother.
Well, we've got one starting in 10 minutes. I've got no thoughts on it. Any thoughts on Yankees Tigers before that one kicks off? I've got nothing to mention there. I mean, the Tigers are I think 2 shutouts in a row. The Yankees are dominating them over there right now.
I'm laughing because you know what? Scott Webb brings this up all the time, and it's so true. I'm just going to pull up the record here. Let me just pull it up here for everyone. Got so many screens in front of me. Everyone does it different. Yankees are 38-15. They're already 23 games over 500. This is not the Bash brothers of old. This is not the pinstripe guys. These guys hit solo homers. Judge is at 21 right now. Carpenter comes over, and who was on life support CPR. The Yankees said, hey, come on over, short porch, see what we can do. 4 homers already. And they're winning the last 2 weeks by pitching. 2-0, 3-0. They're not going out scoring double digits, guys. So with that being said, I can't lay 300, 320, 340. Today, 261, 280. Montgomery versus R. Garcia. Don't call me Jerry Garcia. I mean, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I'm glad that's where you went because, we were talking before Friday. Tigers were showing some signs of life, but that's probably more of a product of beating up the free-falling Twins than it is the Tigers' offense showing any signs of life because their offense is brutal. I'm steering us away from that one. I'm glad you went there. So we can move. I guess we'll get my White Sox out of the way. Got the win in Tampa yesterday. Series 1-1 coming into today. Giolito versus Yarborough. Always worth mentioning. The White Sox hit a lot better versus lefties. Even the last week or so, they're still hitting them decently well, significantly better than righties at least. Giolito in a bounce-back spot. I think last I checked, it was right around -110 either way. I'm not sure if that one moved at all. I see one spot, 112 for the White Sox. So I'd be interested in the White Sox first 5 and full game money line. I see I see Giolito probably going pretty deep into this game as long as obviously he's pitching well. And the back end of the bullpen had been until yesterday pretty well rested, so I think they should be fine. Hendricks, Graveman, whoever else should be fine to go 2 days in a row. I think Hendricks for sure. So I'm liking the White Sox in both first 5 and the full game in this one. What about you?
Jeets to me is always a lightning rod. Overnight was -115, Tampa -105. I'm going to look over here at Don Best for you right now, and a -106 overnight. So it's a coin flip. Did they play on Thursday or not?
Did they play on Thursday? Yeah, they had. Let's see. Am I drawing up? Yeah, no, they played on Thursday against the Jays, the Blue Jays.
Okay, so this is a 3-game series. So winner of this wins the series.
Yeah.
I like where your eyes are. Jeets first 5. I'll just leave it at that. Try to get out, get early, get a couple. Hope to get that 2-0, 2-1 first 5 and move on. And over that is a flat 7. Choose over -120. Hope to score early and often, get through the 5 and call it a day there.
I'm with you. I have nothing to complain about as far as the lineup's been released for this one. First time maybe all season. I have nothing to complain about how Tony La Russa set this lineup. So hopefully that's a good sign for us today. But moving on to the next one I had written down, Angels and Phillies. We're 10 in a row, I believe it is, for the L Angels in the loss column. Patrick Sandoval, lefty, who he's been really solid. I saw him in person this year. He's been really solid. Bad start, I think, his last time out, or maybe pretty recently against Kyle Gibson. Phillies getting majority of money. Are the Angels getting off the schneid today, or is it going to be 11 straight for the Halos over there in Philly today?
Well, on Friday, when the news came that Joe was fired, I'm a strong believer once a manager is fired, you jump on the train. The team usually wakes up. They feel some sense of urgency. The fact that their poor play was a part of the reason that the manager has left the building. We had Phillies full game Friday, hit that one 10-0. We had Phillies first 5 minus the hook with Wheeler yesterday. Hit that one. A free-falling Angels team. And I saw a stat that I almost fell off my office chair. I think Trout's in the middle of an 0 for 23 I saw. And I don't know if you can confirm that. That's what I saw, which I don't think has probably ever happened in his career, unless they were talking about something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear that. I'm going to check it out right now for you. But 0 for his last 22, longest hitless streak.
Okay, well, maybe I have Biff's almanac and he's going to go 0 for 1 in the first. Listen, I'm not going to get in front of the train, the Angels free falling. I'm just going to throw this out there. Will it happen? Probably not. I agree, slight edge Sandoval. Gibson has been no slouch. Phillies are cooking with Crisco right now. Yeah. How about a Philly sweep? And then the Angels say, enough's enough. Joe, you're living on your name. You're living on the Cubs series. Obviously, this ain't working. Time to go.
That's not a terrible prediction at all. I don't think that's a bad prediction at all, because that would be a loss today would put them under 500, 11 straight. So, I don't hate that prediction at all. Yeah, I'm staying away from it. Like you said, this Phillies train. Because the offense is on fire. So, I don't know that I don't hate the prediction there. We could be seeing another vacancy in the AL West come tomorrow morning, dark Monday, early in the MLB.
Yeah, the Red Sox right now half game behind the Angels. As I talked about in the intro there. So, I always talk about, if you didn't invite me to the wedding, don't expect me there at the funeral. Don't ever step in front of these streaks. We like to say mentally, you can't win 7 in a row. You can't win 8 in a row. You can't lose 7 in a row. You can't. Yeah, you can. It's baseball. Yeah. And so this Angel team has lost 10 in a row. And a funny stat here is once they finally win a game and stop the bleeding, you always go and grab them again in the second game. So if they happen to win today, figure out who they're playing Monday and Tuesday and jump back on them there. Don't try to hold the golden ticket and say, I told you I stopped that 10-game losing streak. Don't do it.
Waka versus Syndergaard tomorrow, back in LA tomorrow. Waka versus Syndergaard tomorrow.
and the funny thing is, if the Angels lose, Sox win, the Sox will hold the half game in that third wild card spot. So a little June baseball for some jockeying in the third wild card spot.
Sure, love it. All right, let's a couple other teams that are kind of in the mix as well. In the AL. Not strong thoughts on this one. Twins versus Blue Jays, Smeltzer versus Gozman. Twins had the outburst on Friday. Then it was back to some rough offense, I think, yesterday. I think the Jays roll, but do you see any value on the Jays? Maybe you disagree. You like the Twins in this one. Any value out of this game that you see here?
We had over in the Toronto-Minnesota game on Friday. We stayed away on Saturday. Not a big Smeltzer fan. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Gosman got lit up, or he got beat up, or it wasn't an actual good Gosman start, his last start. Strong league, Toronto with Gosman. I'm not a Smeltzer fan. If you haven't watched this guy, go catch a half inning and watch him. He's got one of those quirky windups that is like, I swear, more deception than actual raw ability there. But I talk about Quicksand Sunday. I talk about landmines, and this would be one of them. The whole world's going to have Toronto first 5 minus the hook. The whole world's going to have Toronto minus a 1.5. The The whole world's going to have Toronto money line in parlays today. So this, as much as I like Toronto, this is a stay away.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. You're kind of correct about Gozman. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs against my White Sox, who are bad against right-handers. So you might chalk that one up as not so great of a start there for him in 5 innings there. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm staying away from it. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. This is going to be one of the poster children for MLB parlay legs today. So it could be one that we see people crying about. So I'm staying away from it as well. Interesting line or pricing on this next one. Wanted to mention to you. I think I saw it from you that you liked his tweet. Your buddy Craig Mish. The Marlins, I think if they win today, would be the first series win over an above 500 team. They've got Braxton Garrett making his season debut today, lefty on the mound versus Junis. 5.18 ERA over 10 career MLB games. Giants only about -120. Anything to see here? Is this Braxton Garrett coming up and going to be nails today, or are you seeing something else here today?
Craig is throwing out as much as he can, just trying to, when there's so many holes, you only have so many fingers and toes to stop the bleeding. And we just, I don't know what to expect. Obviously, you don't like putting your hard-earned money on first time of the season starters here. Junis has been okay. I liked him a lot coming up with the Royals. Now he's with a San Fran team that can score some runs. It's an over of 8 juiced over -115. You know what? I'm rooting for Miami. They opened up overnight -125 down to 120, 118 and 16 at Westgate and South Point. Gonna stay away. Heart says Miami. Head says Giants.
Yeah, I'm staying away. Because we've talked about it so many times. Guys that are making their season debut or whatever it is, it's just too scary for me. Interesting thing to note, though, on the Action app, I'm seeing 85% of bets on the Giants money line, but 75% of the money on VSiN's tracker for DraftKings. Giants are getting 85% of the money, but only 57% of the handle. So the money, the Marlins getting 43% of the money, despite only 15% of the bets. So somebody at DraftKings is pouring some money on the Marlins here today. But I'll keep myself away from it. That's I actually had the Marlins yesterday, but I think that's enough of the well for the Miami Marlins this weekend for me.
Maybe it's Craig Mish.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, maybe it is. Next one up, good pitching matchup. Padres and Brewers. Padres, first 2 games of the series, 2 shutouts, actually. We talked about it Friday. Burns actually got lit up, and Musgrove was fantastic. Brewers bounce back today, or are you avoiding their offense altogether after 2 shutouts?
Don't forget, they played game 1 against the on Thursday. Padres.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay.
Padres had a 3-run lead, and they gave up 4 in the 9th. So that was a miracle comeback on the Brewers side. You know what? I'm going to go out here. If you had to play this game, I'm going to take Clevenger first 5. Get him on a little plus price money. If you want to get plus a half run, pay a little tax, you can. He has shown flashes. Padres got a little pep in their step. You don't have to worry about the back end. Laura's been hit or miss. Scott talks about Laura. Laura's numbers haven't been bad. I'm going to ride a little Padre mojo first 5 if you were looking for a little Padre action.
Okay. I like it. I mean, I would be willing to bet on some regression for Lauer in general. So I'm not hating on that. And I'm with you on Clevenger. So I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in that one as well. Yeah, I missed that one on Thursday for sure. I was just looking at the last 2 on that one. Let's see. Only a couple that I had written down, and then we can see if you had any other ones to mention. You've been taking some action in Colorado this weekend. Atlanta and Colorado. Charlie Morton, Ryan Feltner, excuse me. Braves -160, over under 11.5. We getting any? I'm not sure what to expect from Feltner. It's kind of the biggest thing that's keeping me out of this one. Any pizza and beer money on an over 11.5 in this one? We seeing some fireworks today, or you got any different thoughts here?
Friday we had the over, and it was just like we cashed in the bottom of the 5th. Yesterday, what was that, Thursday, and then we stayed off Friday, and then yesterday, SoCal DGen on gambling Twitter puts out every time that Freeland pitches, it's an underplay. It was 12 overnight. It went to 11 and a half in the morning. We tried to buck the trend there. And Strider, who we had in his first official start, pitched great. They both pitched well for the first 3 innings, and then the 4, 5, 6, 7th inning, they were putting runners on. They just couldn't get them across. And then by 7, 8, 9, I called it a day, and then I saw the final 6-2. It's kind of funny. Overnight number 12, 11 and a half this morning. There are 11s at South Point, DraftKings, Caesars. So pizza and beer money. First of all, this is not the same ground chuck and Mr. Morton that we've seen in the past. Right. Feltner, hit or miss. I think both bats wake up. If you are at the South Point, you are on the DraftKings or Caesars or anywhere else, any of the onlines, I'd take a swing at the over 11 today.
Okay. I like that. What about gun to your head? Rocky's still a winning baseball team at home, 16-15, but the Braves have obviously taken the first 3. Gun to your head, do the Rockies get this win? Or I'm not saying you got to play it, but gun to your head, do the Rockies get this win?
It was, like the Red Sox going to Oakland. I thought the same with Atlanta going to Colorado. It was a great get-well spot. And, the hard thing is to close out a series when, quote, unquote, you've won the series already.
Sure.
Okay? But you got a chance to make a statement. I'm not a fan of ground chuck. He has not been good. So value-wise, price-wise, I like where your eyes are. I could smell, again, this being one of those landmine, not gold mines for all the Atlanta Braves backers.
Yeah, I think this will be another kind of your Sunday parlay leg ad for the Braves on this one. The one that's not super steep, the 250, the 300 like the Yankees or the Blue Jays in this one. So I might do a little pizza and beer money on Rockies and the over and see what we get there. So one more that I wanted to mention. There's a couple other later after this one we can talk about, but. Red Sox, where you're sitting right in front of Fenway right now. Red Sox actually underdogs to the Oakland A's. Frankie Montas on the mound, obviously very solid. But I guess I'll ask you this question: do you agree with this pricing, or do you have some other thoughts on what this should be here today?
Montas has been a chalk favorite for Oakland since opening day. He will not be with them come the All-Star break or the trade deadline. They're just holding him hostage for the best price there. He will help someone in the second half. Rich Hill, I've been waiting for regression. He's shown a little chinks in the armor, especially I think it was his last outing, if you have the numbers there.
Yeah, it was rough last time out against the Orioles. 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 5 Ks.
We've been waiting for the regression with Pivetta. You haven't seen it. You've been waiting for Walker. You haven't seen it. So Rich Hill has held the fort up until his last start. Does he get a bounce back spot? Is Frankie finally going? Oakland has no offense. None. Right. 0-0. Right. So hindsight, Vegas is sticking their neck on the line one more time with Montas. Here's what I see. This has been a house of horrors for the Sox in the last few years. They've gotten the first 2. They might already be checked out and looking at the Angels series. If Hill gets blown up early, I could see a lot of people on the Sox looking for the sweep. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous spot. If gun to my head, I think somehow, some way, you might get a Rich Hill blow up again and Montas finds a way to steal it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the difference in the full game price and the first 5 price, it looks, minus 120-ish on the full game. I'm seeing a consensus minus 140 on the first 5. So they're really telling you they think that Montas is gonna deal in this one. So gonna be interesting there. Go ahead.
Good eyes there. If you're seeing that, people, and you're looking to get into that game, don't lay the tax. Lay Montas minus the half run. You can get that probably close to even money, I would assume, maybe even a little plus 105, 110. They're expecting a little more regression from Rich Hill. So opportunities to not get stuck with the 35, 40, 45 cent taxes or juice and just the half run. Yeah, tie you lose. I get that part of it. But if you start playing these 135s, 140s, they add up real damn quick. So, peel that onion layer back just a tad more. Grab a minus the hook, maybe plus 105, and pray.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've mentioned it. Weird stuff happens on Sundays. It wouldn't shock me if the A's offense went for 6, 7 runs off Rich Hill by any means. That wouldn't shock me at all. I could see it happening. That's all I had written down as far as things that I had to mention. A couple of games, a couple of good matchups, honestly. Later in the evening, anything else that we missed that you wanted to mention? A few games I missed here.
Well, let's go to the ESPN game. We got Wainwright versus Steele. They played a doubleheader and split yesterday, correct?
I know they played a doubleheader at some point. They've played 4 games so far, and it's gone Cubs, Cardinals, Cubs, Cardinals. I can't remember. I think it was yesterday they had the doubleheader, though. Yeah.
We got Wainwright versus Steele, and I always say, is he going to be steel or aluminum? And I think he's coming off a decent start, his last one. Is that correct?
I think so, because I remember you and I were talking about it. Not bad. They got the win against the Brewers. He was 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, no homers, 4 walks, 6 Ks.
So they get the Sunday night game. St. Louis has been on Sunday night so many damn times. Jesus. Yeah. You got the crafty veteran versus Wainwright versus Steele. I'm not going to lay the tax of the lumber. If you want St. Louis today, I strongly suggest, again, minus a half run. First 5, get in, get out. It's an under-over of 8.5 now, juiced over minus 22 cents at our friends at Circa. I'm not going to lay the tax. I'm really not. That's where I would go in on that game.
I think so. I might. This kind of, I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I don't see a ton of value on here. I could see this one being a coin flip. It's one of the bigger rivalries. These teams hate each other. I mean, you obviously have seen so far. It's they've split 4 games so far, so it's kind of a coin flip to me. I don't love the Cubs by any means because I could see Steele being bad, honestly. I might do, if I'm doing anything, I might just do a little laundry, pizza, and beer money on an over 8.5 in this one. I don't know. I'm not in love with anything here. It's right. Yeah, I didn't have anything that I was in love with here. Wouldn't shock me if Wainwright regressed. Wouldn't shock me if he dominated. I really don't have strong thoughts here.
2 others. Houston gets blanked last night. Now come back with Valdez versus Healsley. I am not a big fan of Mr. Healsley or the Royals. An under over a 9. I'm not going to lay the 220 here. Again, this could easily be a landmine, guys. But with that said, with an under over a 9 in silence bats yesterday from the Astros, I look for them to be early and often here. And I think you can take full advantage and go in and grab an Astros run line today. Full game. You don't have to worry about the 220. My thought process is probably close to even. Maybe plus 105, maybe minus 105 there. If you wanted to get cute, go first 5. But I think Houston wakes up again today and takes care of business, wins the series. Now, one thing I do want to piggyback and add here. Sundays, a lot of times guys have scheduled Sundays days off. They don't care if they're down 0-2 in the series or up 2-0. I know the Red Sox, this is usually JD's day off. It always was Ortiz's day off. It is what it is. So before you go and put your hard-earned money on some of these games, go in and check the lineups. If you see a Bryce Harper off, you see some of the big studs that are off, just think about it. That's all. Just think about it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. And as far as I'm with you, I think they could take care of Heasley today. I'm with you as far as not only a bounce back, but against a guy that hasn't been very proven, has been proven to be pretty hittable. I'm with you on that one. I think they can pour in some runs. A little bit of a tax on the run line, minus 140 or so on the minus 1.5. So a steep price a little bit there on a run line, but I think they roll them. Honestly, yeah, it's a steep price. I think that, I don't know. I think that's more telling that the money line should be quite a bit higher. I think that should be closer to minus 300 if you ask me on that one. So that's interesting there.
So, all right, guys. Let's play the game here. It's only a 220. So Vegas is telling you Astros don't just win today. They win by 2 or more, probably by at least a field goal. That's a steep price on a 220. Good eyes there. Good eyes there, Riley.
Just seeing if I can find any. Yeah, I mean, as far as they this site's minus 3 is plus 145. Not suggesting anyone plays that, but yeah, you got to go up that high to get any plus money on the Astros here today. But I think they could put up a lot of runs, so it's interesting.
Mets finally break through last night, 9-4. Bueller is Bueller's Day Off. How's that?
Yeah.
Uh, I was not a big fan of him coming into last year. I thought he overachieved. I love his metrics. I love everything about him. I did a lot of innings on that arm the last few years.
Hmm.
He was in a spot yesterday that they gave him a 4-0 lead, and the Mets said not so quick. They run up 9 in a row to win that game 9-4. I repeat, I am not a Trevor Williams fan. In comes Urias. Again, minus 195 last night, now 176 today. I'm not going to pay the tax or nothing, and under over a 9. So they're expecting some runs here. I could see a potential Dodger minus hook first 5. If you wanted to get cute and play the run line full game, I don't have a problem with that, but I expect that the Dodgers and Urias win this game and take 3 out of 4 from the Mets.
I think I'm with you. They're really forcing your hand as far as a tricky 185 or so, 175 spot where you really don't want to pay that tax, and then you're just not quite as confident as the run line, right? So I'll probably stay away, but I'm with you. I think the Dodgers take that one. That one's, I think, one of the later games, 3 o'clock on my time afternoon. So plenty of time for the lineups to come out on that one. And maybe one of these teams like the Dodgers has a situation like you mentioned where they rest some guys. So maybe a good one to wait on there.
All right, Riley. I'm trying to be a producer here and close up the screen. I will get to it eventually. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts as far as today is concerned, MLB is concerned. I just wanted to mention as far as we haven't talked about it too much, and we can spend another day talking about it. As far as the future markets in the MLB, some of these player awards, if you like some of these future markets, still value left on the table. If you remember, it's not the same situation, but we've got, both leagues Cy Young. Verlander's plus 450. Burns is 5-1. You think about last year, you had DeGrom as the easiest lock runaway favorite, and he gets hurt. And some of these guys, these guys that were down in the pack come out of nowhere. It was Burns last year to win this thing. So what I'm saying is there's still a lot of value left on the board. If you think Verlander doesn't have the longevity, then there's obviously guys down the board that can heat up in this situation. So still a lot of value left in the MLB future market. If you're looking at the division odds, teams that have been struggling, like my White Sox or Braves, obviously have some solid odds the rest of the way if you think they're going to bounce back. Not saying I have to imagine at least one of the two teams will find some fire here and have some value. So that was all the only thing I want to mention as far as closing thoughts. I might have a blog coming out about some MLB futures here in the coming days or something along those lines. But just wanted to mention that there's something to be said about some of the value here left on the table in the MLB future market.
For myself, I can't stress it enough. It's quicksand Sunday, guys. If you're in the hole a lot going into today, here's my suggestion. Okay. Just go put in a couple small, I call them beer and pizza parlays, even if you want one unit at 5, 6, 8-1. If you're down, say 3, 4, 5 units going in today, and you go and put 5 units sprinkled in, say 1 unit, 5 plays, that you can go 5-0. You can go 0-5 just as easy.
Right.
So, it's called bankroll management. It's called money risk at this point. And so Monday's a new day. It's a new start. It's a new week. Okay. So that's why here at ECSI, the VIPs religiously, Sunday is fun day. We'll put together a 3 or 4-legged parlay, paying anywhere from 5 to 6 to 8 to 10-1. That's our action for the day. If we go 2-0 and have a chance to hedge to guarantee profit, that's what we do. We have some golf in the futures market. We got a few head-to-heads still left. We already hit the first round leader. We already 1-0 in matchups as well. So our day's complete, our week's complete. Now we're just looking to end the week in the green. We like to call it below Monday. Obviously, with Thursday's cash, anyone that played the PGA is going to have a very, very nice envelope Monday. But don't get crazy. That's the whole mantra here today. Not a long sermon, but enough to pass the basket for the second time. So in the ECSI house this week. So with that, Mr. Riley, you and I will be back at this tomorrow morning. with the breakfast bankroll, and then from there we will have the closing bell. No scheduled guests yet, but the rest of the week we got a bunch of guests. It's going to be a crazy week, and we'll have that out on our timeline. So remember this: if you are wagering today, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up that phone. Why? There's an 800 number. It's easy. Ask for help. Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy family day. Have some fun. Get outside. Throw some meat in the smoker. Do something different. Get to that beach. Have a barbecue. Watch some sports. Cash a few tickets. We will see you next week, my friends, and have a great day.